All right, welcome back, 8th grade. We are going to go first. This is day 2 of the project, and I'm going to do this video for option 1. Remember, you had 2 options. One was to turn a human into a cartoon, and the second one was to turn a cartoon into a human. So I explained both options in this top video here. The video that you're listening to right now, I'm only going to focus on option 1. I will post another video by option 2 if you scroll down, and that will show you to go through option 2. So teachers, what I would kind of recommend doing is kind of having your class kind of broken in two. Say option 1, we're going to watch this video while option 2 is just working on their sketches. When you get done with this one, option 2, heads up, we're going to watch this video, and you can do it that way. That's just a suggestion. You can do it any way you like. All right, so option 1, we are doing the human to the cartoon. Your rubric was here. Remember, we were studying Robert D. Jesus. We'll go over this more during our self-evaluation on day 6. There were some examples to look at. Yesterday, or whatever day you had class 1, you were working on brainstorming, creating your 2 sketches. Today, we are going to work on the transformation. So this would be for class 2 and 3. And I'm giving you 2 full class periods for this because it takes time. You're actually going to work on taking your human and turning them into a cartoon. So actually creating something like this, like a finished product. But we're only working on the rough draft. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Make the mistakes in your sketchbook, your notebook, whatever you have for art to keep yourself organized. Now, you may be saying, well, how in the world do I do that? I have 2 methods that I'm going to explain to you today that I hope will really help you. They've helped my students in the past when we're doing any kind of transformation work. So let me explain method 1. You are going to draw the real person roughly. Okay, so look at the real person, roughly sketch them out so you have the basic face shape, eyes, nose, mouth, basic style of their hair, whatever you're going to include, shoulders. If they're always wearing a hoodie, maybe you have a hoodie on, whatever it is, a particular hat they wear. And then you're going to start erasing their features and turning them into the cartoon style you chose. So for example, this is a method 1 example. I drew roughly a picture of my husband, my daughter, and I, just real rough, right? You can see there's not a lot of eraser marks here because I drew it really light and I just erased, okay? So my husband had a hat on, and obviously hats aren't this squared off, but I wanted to emulate Robert D. Jesus' style. That was the cartoon style I chose. So I erased part of his, circular part of his hat, and I squared it off. Where I would have shaded his hat to show that it's the underside of it, I added the lines that Robert D. Jesus would do. His glasses weren't square, they were more rounded, but Robert D. Jesus' style is more squared, so I squared them off. I put lines in again where I would shade. I took details out of the nose and just put in these rough shapes like Robert D. Jesus does. I made the eyes squared off. Same thing with the ears, lips. And then same thing like with my daughter's jacket. She had a little Sherpa jacket on. I just roughly sketched it in. I exaggerated her eyes to make them look like they were super, super open. Because cartoons, we do lots of exaggeration. I made my eyes huge, my mouth big with no teeth. So I erased my teeth. And then my hairstyle kind of just over-exaggerated. And then my daughter's hoodie squared off. So it's just kind of a real rough sketch of what I would have want that final piece to look like. So that's method 1. Draw the people you want to do or person roughly and then turn it into whatever cartoon style you chose. All right, method 2, and it's explained here, but I will show you. You're going to draw the cartoon. Pick a cartoon that you want to do. This is a cartoon that I chose. There's some people I follow on Instagram if any of you are familiar. But I was like, I'm going to do this one right here. I love their style, and I'm going to do this one. So I roughly sketched this out. All right. So no details. I didn't put details in his shirt or anything. I just roughly sketched it out. Okay. I knew I wasn't going to add these text boxes, so I took them out. I knew I wasn't going to answer this, I wasn't going to draw this, so I didn't even draw that to begin with. Okay. And then you can see in this one that I turned those figures into my husband and I when I was pregnant at the time, and then our 3 dogs. So I did that by really looking at the features. So I had that shirt in place, and then I turned it into more of a flannel shirt like my husband wears. I added different hairstyle for me. I'm not really the big hands in the air thing, so I just had my hand just resting on my pregnant belly there. Have our dogs just kind of huddled around cuddling with me. Toilet paper coming out because this is right when COVID hit, and toilet paper and Clorox wipes were hard to find, so I thought that would be something funny to add. Added the type of hat my husband wears. See, there's eraser marks, right? This is just a sketch, just an idea of what it could look like, okay? So this option would be to draw the cartoon first and then turn it into the real people, or you can do it the other way where you draw the real people and turn them into a cartoon. Try one way. If it doesn't work, try the other way. That's kind of something's going to click better for you. And if you just see it, like if you just see it as it's done, do it. That's perfectly fine. Art is really cool, and there's not one way to get to your result. You can do it any way you want to, as long as you get the result that you want and you're happy with it. All right, so I'm going to go on. Teachers, if you want to pause, and you can start class 4 at 6 minutes and 5 seconds. But today we're going to talk about practicing with the media. So you should have finished class 2 and 3, which is working on your transformation. You have something that's looking pretty good. Practice with the media today. So think about whatever media you choose. For this project, I recommend pencil and pen, or colored pencils, markers, something like that you can get some detail but will help. So this is your chance to practice in your sketchbook. See what works, see what doesn't. Practice some blending techniques, okay? And you can look those up. Your teacher can show you those. There's a ton of different techniques out there, and I want you to think about what's going to work best for the cartoon style you chose. I'll give you an example here of some blending techniques. If I look at these gray pants this guy has on, okay, if I'm using colored pencils, I'm first going to color every part of his pants that are gray with this light gray color, all of it. So the light gray would be everywhere, okay? Then second, I would add more layers and make this medium gray value that you see all over the pants, okay? So there's only one layer here. Let's say 2, 3, maybe 4 layers here to make it this dark, all over the pants. And then in this one, I would add even more layers. So this one might have like 10 layers on it to get it this dark. But by building up those layers slowly and together, that's what's going to make it look really good. Another example would be her shirt. It's yellow right here, so I would also have yellow under this, okay, under this orange, and then layer the orange on top of it. So that's just some tricks for layering. Hopefully that will help you. Same thing with the couch. The lightest color, it should be all over the couch. And then, so this light blue, color the whole couch that color. Then add more layers where it's this color, even more layers, and then like this one might have like 10 layers, but underneath it is this color, and then this color, and then this color, and then this color. So build up your layers slowly. It really helps. All right, so today, class 4, you're working on practicing with the media. All right, teachers, the next class will start at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. All right, class 5, you are going to work on sketching out your final piece. So awesome. So today, remember, pick your paper size based on how fast you work. So if you work really quick, you might want to pick a bigger piece to challenge yourself. If you work slow, pick a smaller piece so the quality doesn't suffer. Make sure you zoom in, okay? Zoom, 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 zoom in, all right? That's what's really going to help you with your piece. Zoom in because you can get more detail. It is extremely hard to get good details if it's small. It's almost impossible. So make sure you zoom in really, really big, okay? Today you're going to work on making sure you draw light until you get it right. So important to make sure you do that so that you can have everything looking really good and not see eraser marks on your final piece. All right, so that's class 5. Work on getting that done. All right, so I'm going to stop here